Namaste everybody. Welcome to your short Yin Yoga class. 3 simple poses with an extended gong sound bath meditation. So let's get right into it. Find a comfortable seated position where we'll start to ground ourselves before we move into our poses. You can begin to close your eyes if that feels okay. And I want you to just watch the breath for now. Just watch the breath. Observe the natural rhythm of the breath right now. No changing or manipulating the breath. Just observing. And you can start to ask yourself, is the breath slow? Is it fast? Is it deep? Is it long? What are the qualities of your breath right now? Is your breath coming from the belly or the chest? Are your inhales equal length to the exhales? Which one is longer? Which one is shorter? And as we tune into the subtle parts of our body, the breath, we can start to become aware of our mental body. Any thoughts that are moving through right now are all completely okay. We welcome the monkey mind to come along this journey with us. We don't have to control the mind at all. Let's start this class with one Om. You can join me. Inhale. Om. You can slowly start to open the eyes and follow me into the first position. It'll be a seated fold, often called caterpillar in Yin Yoga. Inhale, arms above the head. And as you exhale, just fold right over the legs. Please bend the knees as much as you'd like. And what's really important in this pose is you relax the neck. So I'm looking at the screen right now at the camera. But check this out. I want to relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. It stretches our ankles all the way to the base of the skull. That's if we allow it. So bend the knees so we can assure a benefit from the upper body as well. So the 3 basic principles of practice in Yin Yoga is number 1, finding your edge. So that's finding a comfortable amount of discomfort. I would say around a 6, 7 out of 10. Number 2 is finding stillness. So committing to keeping the body still. And number 3 is time. Allowing time to move and to roll on. Because as we work the yin tissues in Yin Yoga, compared to our yang tissues, like our muscles, our yin tissues, joints, ligaments, tendons, fascia, and even our bones need some time to relax. Another 2 minutes here. And there's 2 reasons why we might move out of the pose. Number 1 is if we feel pain. So if we feel anything like sharp, tingly sensations, we want to come out of the pose a little. We definitely don't want to work with any pain. And the second reason, as our body opens up, we relax a little. So the second reason is to go a little deeper. So I can already just slightly rest my forehead almost at my knees. Not quite, but almost there. In caterpillar pose, to go a little deeper, you can lower the neck, the forehead, like I just did. You can point the toes towards your face a little bit more, or grab the bottoms of your feet, like I'm doing. Or you can also begin to straighten the legs a little. And another one, a little bonus, is looking at your knees. If your knees are far from each other, try to bring them a little closer to each other and feel the difference. It's like a completely different pose because you're working different parts of the calf and the hamstrings. Very complicated area on the back of the legs. Lots of muscles over there. So just by the angle of our toes and our knees, this pose can really change. A few more breaths here. Challenge yourself to go a little deeper for the last few breaths. A slight amount of discomfort. And we want to move out of these poses very slowly. So take quite some time to come back to that seated position. Release the feet, place the hands on the ground, and slowly walk up, straighten the spine. No rush in Yin Yoga. In fact, in all of my yoga, in Hatha Yoga, there's never a rush. Never a rush. Move nice and slow. And now we're going to move into Sphinx Pose, which is a great counter pose of caterpillar. To start in a few variations, I would say level 1 is to have the elbows out in front of the shoulders and the hands right on the forearms. This is a good start in Sphinx Pose. 2 options for the neck. You can keep it flexed, like how I have it right now. I often like to relax the neck or keep neutral spine. What I mean by neutral spine is have your neck the same angle of the rest of your spine, because your neck is your cervical spine. It's still part of the greater picture. So I like to keep it neutral. And if you'd like to move a little deeper here, just bring your forearms and elbows closer to your shoulders. And then the next track would be placing your hands out in front of your arms and bringing your elbows right below your shoulders. I like to suggest not to collapse the shoulders like this, but instead to slightly flex them and keep them up high. Once you find that comfortable edge, now we'll work with stillness, finding stillness in the body. And remember, there's 2 reasons why we could move out of the pose. If we feel any pain, definitely don't want to stay there. Or if the edge softens and the body invites us to go a little deeper. And the third principle being time. This is a great pose to counterpose so much of our daily activity that we've come accustomed to in this modern world, like being on the phone a little too much, on the computer, or driving. This pose really encourages us to extend the spine, strengthen the muscles on the back. It's a great counterpose to our everyday life. Just a few more breaths here. And the final option before we leave this pose is seal pose. So it's very carefully shifting your weight onto your hands, very slowly and gently, and then walking the hands to the body. You definitely don't have to stay here for too long. In fact, if you feel a significant amount of discomfort, please come back to the elbows. This is another practice of Yin Yoga. It's listening to the body and knowing when enough is enough, not going too far, not going past our edge. It's a beautiful practice of listening to the body's intuition. And then a great counterpose of Sphinx Pose now is Child's Pose. So start to lean forward and shift your weight onto your fingertips as you lift up the hips and move into Child's Pose. So if you want to glance at the screen for a moment, I'll show you some options. Forehead on the mat, hands on the lower back, arms out in front of you, arms to the side of the body, hands below the forehead, or fists giving support for the head. So find your option, find your variation. Find your edge. Then find your stillness. A little bit of a bonus here. If you have your arms out in front of you, you can bring your hands touching each other onto the back of the head. So now it's a little bit of a stretch on the back of the arms, the lats, and the shoulders. And of course, if that's not comfortable for your body, if it doesn't feel right, then adjust the pose to your needs. But remember, a slight amount of discomfort and tension is completely okay. Yin Yoga is a beautiful balance of yin and yang practice. So yang would be finding your edge, right? Pushing yourself a little till you feel this discomfort, and relaxing through that is yin. Yin would also be backing off when the body says, that's too much. So listening to the body is yin. Pushing the body is yang. Going a little deeper, that's yang. Feeling pain, noticing the pain, honoring, respecting the pain, and backing off. Beautiful yin practice. Just a few more breaths here.
And I encourage you, when you find discomfort in the body, see if you can relax into it rather than fight and resist it. If it's too difficult to resist this discomfort, that could be a great indication that we're too deep in the pose. So back off. Respect the body. Honor the body. We don't want to break the body. We want to bend the body, then relax the body. And then I'm going to add another bonus pose for today. Shift your weight onto your forearms once again and walk the knees from each other. Separate the legs, the feet, ankles, and knees, and this will be frog pose. A lot of people dread this one. That's because they're too deep. You choose how difficult this position is. If it's too intense, just bring the knees closer to each other and or the ankles closer to each other. But find around a 5, 6, 7 out of 10 level of discomfort and breathe through it, relax through it. And this is a beautiful practice of letting our bodily sensations move through us. What that translates to in everyday life is letting our emotions and our feelings and our thoughts move through us, not attaching to this discomfort in the hips. Attaching to our discomfort in the hips would be like, oh, I can't bear this feeling. And then you bring the knees closer and you come out of the pose. That would be being attached to the physical feeling. But moving through the feeling and detaching through it is allowing, not resisting. And by now, is the feeling gone? Did I distract you? Choose to go deeper or to go softer. This pose does not have to be too intense. Another variation in this one is to lower the forehead on the hands. Relax the shoulders as you do that. But I'm going to stay up here for my body. But listen to yours and do what you need. And again, I like to relax the neck into a neutral spine. Few more breaths here. Just breathe through it. Feel it. Not resisting. Allowing. And then walk your hands from each other. Shift your weight onto each hand nice and slow. And then carefully walk the knees to each other. If you make any old man noises right about now, that's completely okay and natural. Now we'll get into a lying down pose, our final position, Shavasana. Begin to close the eyes. And for the next 5 minutes, just relax the body, just like the other principles, except the edge. There shouldn't be an edge in Shavasana. This should be as comfortable as possible. 0 out of 10 discomfort. But the other two principles still apply.
Try to find your stillness and allow time to pass. I'll let you know when those minutes are up. Enjoy. Bring your attention back to the body. And as I log off here, I'd like for you to stay here a little longer on your own. You can stay still or bring your hands to a prayer position as I say 3 ohms to close this practice. Thank you so much for joining me today and making time for relaxation. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Please stay here a little longer.